but I'm trying to paint you as a killer.
Yeah, it's a little something I got going on.
Foolio's case just took another wild turn. SpotemGottem is now being linked to the murder of 2 men who were involved in Foolio's death. Did Spotem avenge Foolio, or is there something deeper going on? The entire thing was caught on camera, and I've got all the details. Let's get into it. The day Foolio's killers met their match. It was supposed to be just another night in Tampa, but by morning there was blood on the sidewalk. Bullet casings were scattered across the parking lot, and buried within the chaos, there was a story so twisted, so calculated, it was hard to believe it wasn't scripted, except it wasn't fiction. A surveillance video, just seconds long, shows a masked man stepping into frame, no hesitation, and shoot at men in a moving vehicle. And here's where things take a turn straight out of a rap song, because according to widespread street chatter and increasingly bold internet theories, the masked man in that video is none other than SpotemGottem, the Jacksonville-born rapper who came up fast with his viral beatbox freestyle, and even faster with a list of enemies that could fill a courtroom. And the 2 men shot at? Allegedly, they weren't just random targets. They were the suspected killers of Foolio, the controversial rapper murdered on his own birthday just weeks earlier. If what fans are saying is true, this wasn't a beef. This wasn't rap drama. This wasn't even gang politics. This was a vigilante assassination, caught on camera, and all signs are pointing to the unlikeliest of assassins. Spotem, a rapper, a survivor, a kid from Duval County who was nearly killed himself just 2 years ago in a highway shooting. And now, he's rumored to have orchestrated a double homicide in broad daylight to avenge a man he barely claimed as a friend. So what the hell happened? Why is Spotem even involved? What makes people believe it was him? And more importantly, how has law enforcement responded? Because if the theories are true, this could be one of the boldest retaliations in rap history. But first, let's go back to July 2024. That's when Foolio, real name Charles Andrew Jones, was celebrating his birthday in Tampa. The 26-year-old rapper was known for being brash, unfiltered, and dangerously comfortable pushing buttons. His diss tracks were infamous. He regularly named dead ops, mocked their families, and even recreated the funeral scenes of his rivals. Love him or hate him, Foolio never backed down. But on the weekend of his death, Foolio was on chill mode. He posted photos with a birthday cake, smiled with fans, and had gone ahead to try and book a room in a Home 2 Suites in Tampa, Florida, after being kicked out of a nearby Airbnb. Within hours, Foolio was dead. Police say unknown assailants opened fire on his vehicle in the hotel parking lot. The rapper died instantly. The attackers vanished.
On June 23rd, Tampa police officers responded to a shooting on McKinley Drive and located 4 victims. One person, later identified as Charles Jones, was pronounced deceased. Jones was in town celebrating his birthday and posted on his social media his locations several times.
And the theory started immediately. Some pointed fingers at rival gang members from Jacksonville. Others blamed the host of a party Foolio had left earlier. A few fans even claimed Foolio's own people set him up. But the common thread in nearly every theory was this: now somebody knew where he was, and that somebody had access, weapons, and motivation. The killing wasn't messy, it wasn't emotional, it was surgical. Just days after Foolio's murder, rumors began flying. 2 names kept coming up, both known for gang affiliation, and both previously arrested in connection with shootings targeting Foolio's crew. Then, 3 weeks later, a video hit the internet. A blurry, shaky clip surfaced showing 2 men being gunned down in nearly the same fashion Foolio had been killed. The Reddit threads erupted, private Discord groups went into meltdown, and one name started floating through the digital fog: SpotemGottem. The very idea seemed insane. Why would Spotem risk everything? He wasn't exactly known for being close with Foolio. In fact, they'd been on and off enemies for years. Back in 2021, the 2 traded subliminals online, mocked each other's legal problems, and even had fans comparing whose music carried more realness. But something changed in early 2023. According to industry insiders, the 2 Florida rappers had been squashing the beef quietly. A leaked DM between Foolio and a mutual friend suggested the 2 were planning a collab tape, possibly titled North Meets South. While it never materialized, the messages hinted at genuine respect brewing beneath the chaos. Then Foolio was murdered, and 3 weeks later, the 2 men rumored to be behind his murder were gunned down in a methodical execution style, killing eerily similar to Foolio's own demise. And here's where Spotem's behavior gets suspiciously loud. Just hours after the leaked video made its way across Reddit and Telegram, Spotem posted an Instagram story showing a photo of a blunt and some firearm on a table. The caption: balance restored. No tags, no location, no context. But here's the wildest part. According to metadata scraped by Twitter sleuths, the story was posted from Tampa. Fans flooded the post with comments like, "Bro said balance restored. Y'all see the Glock? This man's serious, and is that a threat or a confession?" And then it got worse. 2 days later, Spotem went on Instagram Live, previewing a new freestyle. The bars weren't subtle. Burn away a carbon beam, knock your legs off. Tried to get away from me, had a standoff. Hit him in the spine, knock his dreads off. My woody just caught a body. I nicknamed him Randy Moss. The lyrics, though cryptic, lined up with the details of the double murder. But let's stop for a second and talk about why this is so explosive. In most rap beefs, when violence occurs, the public shrugs it off as the streets being the streets. But this time, the dots are damn near connecting themselves. First, you've got a murder that felt like a setup. Then, two known associates of that murder were killed weeks later. Also, a video leak shows how precise the attack was. Then we have a rapper with prior beef and new ties to the victim posts a cryptic caption from the same city where the murder occurred. Then he previews lyrics that match the event's details. He also tweets about avenging the fallen. What are the odds? Even the police are scrambling. According to a leaked Tampa PD memo obtained by independent blog The Neighborhood Talk, officers at the time were investigating potential links between multiple shootings in the Tampa metro area involving persons of interest in the Florida rap scene. But to this day, no official suspects have been named in the double homicide. And with no facial recognition matches or solid forensic evidence, an arrest still seems out of reach. So what is this really? Street justice? Rap beef gone too far? Or the coldest revenge story since Tupac's shooting at Quad Studios? One theory says this: SpotemGottem knew Foolio was targeted. He may have even known who set him up, and when the system did nothing, he took matters into his own hands, like a modern-day outlaw in Gucci slides and a $20K grill. Others believe it's all performance, that SpotemGottem is trolling, that he's using death for clout, that the lyrics, the captions, the Instagram posts, they're bait. But if you believe that, ask yourself this: why did the video disappear? Why were the Reddit threads deleted within 24 hours? Why did two known gang affiliates end up dead with zero signs of struggle? And why is SpotemGottem posting like someone who doesn't care if you suspect him? Here's what we do know. SpotemGottem was shot multiple times in 2021 after a Miami studio session. That attack left him hospitalized and paranoid. Since then, his movements have been calculated. He's dropped music less frequently, kept his circle tight, barely engaged in interviews. But when Foolio was killed, something snapped. A source close to SpotemGottem's team, who asked not to be named, said this: they thought he was just some viral rapper. Nah, he grew up in this shack. He don't forget. That same source claims SpotemGottem had eyes in Tampa and knew who was responsible before the police even made it to the hotel. Whether you believe that or not, the timeline is undeniably tight, and the message is unmistakable. If you take one of ours, you better pray we don't find you first. So what happens next? We're about to find out, because if this made your jaw drop, buckle up, because what's coming next isn't just about revenge, rap, or retaliation. It's about a system of street codes, decades-deep feuds, deadly lyrics, and the way young rappers in Florida are navigating an environment where one wrong bar can get you killed. To understand how Foolio ended up dead and why SpotemGottem's rumored retaliation made so much sense to those in the know, you need to start with the gang affiliations that define Jacksonville rap. The rap war code: killing with lyrics, living with demons. Foolio came up affiliated with KTA, short for Kill Them All, a crew rooted in the north side of Jacksonville. They've been locked in a years-long war with another crew known as ATK, which stands for Attack to Kill, fronted by rising rapper Youngeen Ace. These aren't just rap groups. These are active gang alliances, ones that bleed into real-life violence, bodies, and public funerals turned war zones. According to JSO, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office investigations and local reporting, over 50 unsolved shootings have been connected to these two crews over the last 5 years. And Foolio? He didn't just ride with KTA, he was the voice of it. In 2021, he dropped When I See You, a diss track that sent shockwaves through hip-hop. The entire song was a direct shot at Youngeen Ace, mocking the deaths of Ace's brothers and friends, even featuring footage from their funerals. These are some of his lyrics. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't metaphorical, it was an audio hit job. That track, with its haunting vocals over a Vanessa Carlton sample, didn't just make Foolio go viral, it made him a marked man, and the retaliation came fast. In the months after its release, Foolio survived at least 2 shootings, including one where his car was riddled with bullets outside his own home. Still, he kept pushing, still dissing, still dropping bars that named names and counted coffins. But what made Foolio different wasn't just the savagery, it was the specificity. He wasn't talking about ops in the abstract. He was naming dead teenagers, pulling real mugshots, referencing real murders, and daring anyone to come at him. In one such lyric from his track titled That, he had this to say: these niggas mad we up like 5 bodies in the field. On my ski, call up P, I'm trying to shoot some threes, and ask White, I was in why I took his beef. And on the other end, I heard the whole city want to murder me. I'll drop my address. I'm on 1646 West 45th Street, and in the streets of Jacksonville, there's one rule everyone understands. If you play with the dead, be ready to join them.
Furthermore, it was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Jones was part of the 6 Block gang. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones.
Now, Let's connect the dots between that environment and SpotemGottem. Though originally from Duval County, like Foolio, Spotem was never as deeply tied to either KTA or ATK. He had his own lane, his sound, and for the most part, kept his gang associations muted in public. But behind the scenes, he was known to be loosely affiliated with KTA-adjacent individuals, especially after his 2021 shooting, which left him with multiple gunshot wounds after being ambushed on a Miami highway. That near-death experience reportedly changed him. Spotem stopped doing interviews, stopped hanging out publicly, and started spending more time with people in Foolio's circle, including a producer named Stax, who was tight with both rappers. Multiple sources claim Spotem and Foolio had buried the hatchet privately in early 2023. And that's where this story turns haunting. Because if Spotem really did orchestrate the execution-style murder of the two men believed to be tied to Foolio's death, it wasn't just about revenge. It was about honor. It was about a code. It was about sending a message that echoed through every hood from Tampa to Jacksonville. If you touch ours, we take yours. And we don't post about it, we film it. Now let's get into the lyrics that fan the flames of this entire theory. After the double murder footage leaked, Spotem previewed a freestyle on IG Live. One line in particular lit up the internet like a 5-alarm fire. Now, legally speaking, none of this is admissible evidence. Rappers have long claimed that their lyrics are just art, just storytelling, and not literal. But increasingly, prosecutors disagree. Just look at the YSL Rico case, where prosecutors were using Young Thug's lyrics as part of a broader narrative to prove criminal conspiracy.
He's not using gang colloquially. The evidence will show he's telling you they are a gang.
And don't forget, Florida is one of the few states that allows artistic expression to be admitted as circumstantial evidence in criminal trials when paired with other forms of proof. So while Spotem may be dancing on the line legally, he's walking straight into public judgment. And in the court of public opinion, people are already handing down their verdict. But let's zoom out even further, because the Spotem-Foolio link isn't just about two rappers, it's about a statewide trend. Culture where Florida's underground rap scene is turning into a real-life battleground. Consider this: in Jacksonville, at least 30 rappers tied to ATK or KTA have been shot or arrested since 2019. Tampa is now being called the new war front because both crews have moved operations south to avoid the heat in Jax. In Orlando, there's a new wave of cliques and collectives forming alliances and disses that mimic the same deadly language that got Foolio killed. Clearly, this isn't music anymore. It's murder set to 808s. It's rap albums doubling as scoreboards. And the scary part, nobody's immune. Just months after Foolio's death, another Florida rapper named Lil Cracker was shot in Orlando. Weeks before that, a teen named Trench Baby Dre, barely 17, was killed after dissing a deceased rival in a TikTok video. And each time someone dies, another song drops, another diss is made, another cycle starts. Spotem's rumored act of revenge, whether real or performative, fits perfectly into this blood for bars economy. And here's what makes that terrifying. If Spotem didn't do it, he's risking his life by pretending he did. And if Spotem did do it, he's risking his life by pretending he didn't. Either way, it's a lose-lose in a state where rap lyrics have literally become hit lists. Now you may be asking, where are the police in all of this? That's the thing. They're watching, quietly, carefully, building cases. According to multiple sources within Florida's local law enforcement, a joint task force between Jacksonville PD, Tampa PD, and federal agents is monitoring over 24 active rappers and affiliates believed to be involved in gang-organized violence. Spotem, though never publicly named in any indictment, has already faced federal gun charges, and prosecutors are watching his moves like hawks. And now, with the leaked video, the lyrics, the cryptic captions, don't be surprised if his name gets added to a sealed indictment you'll hear about months from now. Let's end with this. Whether SpotemGottem pulled the trigger or not, he's now forever tied to the narrative. A rapper who survived being shot 5 times, who posted balance restored the day 2 bodies dropped, who rhymed bars that mirrored a double homicide video, who hasn't denied the rumors but instead fed them. Was it real? Was it calculated branding? Or was it a dead man's promise fulfilled? One truth remains: nobody's safe. Retaliation or ruin? The aftermath of SpotemGottem's alleged revenge. By now, the whispers have turned into roar. Fan theories, street rumors, cryptic tweets, and ghostly surveillance footage have all collided into one ugly, unforgettable question. Did SpotemGottem kill Foolio's killers on camera and get away with it? The internet, ever hungry for drama, fed itself until it choked on the details. A blurry video, 2 men shot execution style, lyrics that read like a confession in 808s, and a Florida rap scene more divided than ever. But in the weeks that followed the alleged revenge shooting, the story took a darker, more spiritually corrupt turn. Because no matter how justified the streets claimed this retaliation was, it didn't bring peace. It brought paranoia, retaliation from retaliation, DMs leaking, fan pages disappearing, police quietly circling, and at the center of it all, SpotemGottem, silent, watching, feeding the flames, but never confirming or denying. This is the aftermath. Raw reactions, rival responses, funerals, fear, and the possibility that Florida rap will never be the same again. Because even if you get revenge, what do you lose along the way? Let's start with the reaction from Foolio's family, because theirs was the most heartbreaking silence you could imagine. In the days after the leaked video, which many fans now call the karma clip, Foolio's mother, LaChonda Jones, posted on IG eulogizing her son and mentioned that she was aware of her son's lifestyle and didn't condone it, contrary to rumors flying around. But behind closed doors, family sources said something else. According to a leaked Facebook post from a relative who quickly deleted it, the family had allegedly been told by someone close to Foolio that the streets took care of it. That line, the streets took care of it, started appearing everywhere. TikTok captions, Twitter threads, IG story comments, all tied to the video showing two men executed in the same fashion Foolio was gunned down. Fans took it as confirmation. Was it clout chasing? Possibly. Was it authentic? Probably. But it added another layer to this already heavy story: approval. Because while law enforcement hesitated, while prosecutors looked for evidence, and while commentators called it a tragedy, the streets called it balance. Following the leaked video and Spotem's online behavior, a wave of rappers started picking sides. Some posted subtle support, others went straight at him. And just like that, the cycle turned again. Not justice, not closure, just another round of threats. And this time, the targets were expanding. Spotem's crew, his producers, anyone who posted support, anyone who liked the wrong comment, anyone who dared mention the video in a bar. Suddenly, rap wasn't about who was hardest. It was about who was left. But fans, they were eating it up. TikTokers made conspiracy breakdowns with red string, slow-mo clips, and captioned bars from unreleased freestyles. Reddit threads titled "Spotem's Revenge Blueprint" went viral. Instagram pages claimed to have part 2 of the execution footage. And while no one could prove a thing, the mythology was already in place. In fact, one fan created a 3-minute AI animation showing SpotemGottem riding through Tampa in a black Challenger, pulling up on 2 masked men, and whispering, "This one's for Foolio." That video got 400K views in 24 hours. Whether real or not, the legend was born. But here's the dark twist nobody wants to admit. Even if SpotemGottem didn't do it, he can't escape the consequences of pretending he did. Riding the high of revenge clout comes with a heavy tax. In Florida, especially in the trenches, your name alone is enough to get you killed. If rivals believe Spotem pulled the trigger, they'll retaliate. If cops believe it, they'll build a case. If fans keep saying it, it becomes true, even if it isn't. One source inside the Florida Gang Task Force, speaking anonymously to the Florida Times-Union, said, "We monitor these rappers the same way we monitor drug rings. We let them talk, post, brag. Once the digital trail's deep enough, we move." And Spotem? His trail isn't just digital, it's tattooed in lyrics. Already rumors have begun that a sealed federal indictment is being drafted, involving multiple Florida rappers tied to recent shootings. And if they connect Spotem to the leaked surveillance footage, even indirectly, he could be looking at conspiracy, witness tampering, or even racketeering. Not because he pulled the trigger, but because he told the world he might have. But where does that leave us? Where does it leave Florida hip-hop, or Foolio's legacy, or Spotem's future? The answer is bleak. Since Foolio's death and the rumored revenge killing, 4 other Florida rappers have been shot or arrested in events suspected to be